All right, hello, darling. Sorry if you hear any background noise in this video. I live in Brooklyn. They do what the fuck they want. It's Saturday. You feel me? So this is Britt Says How To. So basically, I've been podcasting. It will be a year in January, but yeah, season 2 just ended. Definitely go watch Britt Says, just to see, the type of podcaster I am. And I thought it was important for me to come here and teach you how to start a podcast because I feel like for me, I'm still doing a lot of trial and error, but I do feel like I've started podcasting very inexpensively, if that's a word. I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah, I kind of just started it. I feel like a lot of people do the most. I used to be that type of person. I love doing the most. So that's always good. I did not do the most when it came to the podcast. I started very slow and inexpensive. So let's just jump into it. But says how to. So first things first, how to start a podcast. The first thing you need is audio equipment. That could be anything. That could be your phone. That could be your laptop. Currently, all right, I'll tell you how I started. I started my podcast very inexpensive. Number one, I decided to use my laptop. I bought a microphone. So if you check out in season 1, I have a microphone. But I only used the microphone for one episode because for some reason I just hated the audio quality. I feel like microphones, they pick up everything. So because they pick up everything, it has a tendency you can hear a lot of white noise. You can hear all this crazy stuff. And I just felt like the laptop didn't pick up all of that noise as my other microphone did. So I just decided to just keep rocking with my laptop or whatever the case may be. The iPhone audio quality is really good as well. A lot of people sleep on the iPhone. And like I said, if you're starting and you just want to try something new, or don't kill yourself breaking mad bread, spending mad money on all these products, and you can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, especially with a podcast, and I even feel like with YouTube and stuff, people want content. If your content is good, if what you're talking about is good, how you operate is good, how you maneuver is dope, they're gonna rock with you. And that's just what it is. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, they're gonna rock with you regardless. So for me, I started using the laptop audio, and I used why was I about to say I use Audacity? I do not use Audacity. I use GarageBand.
I have no problem with I would literally always come up to you and was like, you hate me. You hate me.
Okay, I gotta edit that out. But yeah, I use GarageBand or whatever because it came with the computer. So now, the most expensive thing you're gonna buy, depending on how you do it, truthfully, is a laptop. Like, my laptop is obviously $1,000. I have a MacBook. I also invested in a camera, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I just use my MacBook's audio. And honestly, yes, I love a good crisp audio. But I also, if you talking about something and you're captivating me, I will still listen. And I learned that because sometimes a lot of these podcasters, what they do is they'll record certain episodes in good quality, but they might be in Texas or something. They can't get to their studio, but they want to drop an episode. So, for instance, I was listening to Small Doses, and she did one episode, and the audio was shaky, honey. But as she continued to talk, I continued to listen. At first, I was annoyed, like, yo, this audio. But then, after a while, it went past me that the audio was crappy. Also, I remember I was listening to another podcaster. She said she just moved, so her apartment was extremely empty. So you know how that goes. That means you can hear all the white noise. And in the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, her audio is kind of crappy. But as she continues to talk, I continue to listen. Once you captivate your audience, they're gonna listen. Even with YouTube, I upload my videos to YouTube, and I also do audio as well. So even with YouTube, I'm watching some of these YouTubers and podcasters and mukbangers and whatever they decide to do on the internet, And their video quality ain't even all that. But guess what? I'm watching, and they got more subscribers than me, more viewers than me. And yeah, like I said, you guys might be watching this, and you see I only have what 1,300, 1,200, the late 1,200 subscribers or whatever, and I only get 35, 50 views. It's YouTubers with way more subscribers than me whose video quality is disgraceful. Their background looks crazy. But what they do is they captivate people. As long as you can captivate people, as long as you can build an audience, as long as you be yourself on the camera, people are going to watch. People are going to listen to them no matter what you do. I don't care what nobody say. Don't believe the hype. I remember I was watching a video. And this is the other thing. Before you start a podcast, do your research. I was just kept watching so much videos and reading so much articles on how to start a podcast. And one of the videos I read, of course, I forgot his name. I'll link it below when I find out what his name was. He said that a lot of YouTubers, podcasters might, shun me for saying this, but it's quantity over quality. And that's a fact. I agree with that 100%. So when you start in your podcast, don't go out buying no expensive old microphones. And I hate microphones. I don't know why. I like the ones like this. Like if I had a microphone like this, that would be fun. But I just hate that thing in my face or whatever. But don't go out buying no expensive microphone. Use your iPhone. Use your laptop. And what I currently use, since I film, I have a rodeo mic. I'm gonna film the mic so I could put it in so I could put it in the video or whatever. But I currently have a mic, the rodeo mic, and my camera, right? So I edit my videos on Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, boom. On Adobe Premiere Pro, they have so much editing tools. And one of the editing tools they have is for audio. So what I do is I'm able to take out the white noise out my audio. I'm able to, manipulate the audio. Not manipulate. I don't like that word because it sounds like I'm trying to change my voice or something. But I'm basically cleaning up all the nitty gritties in the audio. So what I do is I take the audio from the video, which is saving me time. Instead of having to record on my laptop and record on my camera, I'm taking the audio straight from the video, and I'm uploading it to my podcast network. So, jumping into that. You have to find a host. So now you got your audio for the low. So this episode is about how to do it inexpensive, right? Now you got your audio for the low. No problem. Your next thing is going to be a host. This you have to pay for, unfortunately. For me, I use Spreaker. And I don't even know why I chose Spreaker. Because everybody used Libsyn, right? And I saw Spreaker. I'm big on, is it easy? You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a podcaster, as a content creator, we already got so much to do on our plate. I don't want to be on no website trying to figure out how to maneuver everything. I had to teach myself so much already that I like stuff that's easy to pick up on. I felt like a place that's going to host my podcast. I just want to be able to upload it and move on. That's it. That's all I want to do. So I currently use Spreaker. And they have three, let me show you. This is Spreaker. They have 3 plans. Broadcaster, which is $20 a month. Then they have On-Air Talent, which is $7 a month. And then they have Anchorman, which is $50 a month. I'm currently on the Broadcaster plan, which is $20 a month. They have a lot of promotions though when you're on it for a while. They give you like 40% off upgrades. Like Black Friday is doing a 40% off and you can upgrade to Anchorman. Whatever the case may be. I soon might have to upgrade. I'm not sure. I need to pay attention to that. But anyway, hosting. So the average hosting plan, like they said, they have $7 a month, up to 45 minutes per live podcast, customer RSS fees, and programmatic monetization. The Broadcaster one has up to 3 hours per live podcast. That grabbed me because sometimes, I was like, eventually I'm going to start doing hour-long episodes. Customizable RSS feeds, programmatic monetization, and advanced statistics. So let's step back. So first you need a host. Your hosting, I think everybody, if you're going to take podcasting seriously, you're probably going to have to get that second plan. Every website has one. They have Libsyn, they have Spreaker, they have Anchor FM, and the average hosting plan is like $20. So yes, you have to put $20 aside every month to start a podcast. So right now, at this point, let's just put it in our head that we only spent $20. Because, for instance, let's say you already own a laptop, you already own an iPhone, everybody owns a phone. You could get audio, period. Like, everybody owns that. You're going to have to pay at least $20 a month for a host, which is not bad, And you just upload your audio to the website. And yes, you should try to get statistics. The statistics are very important to your podcast because you need to know, is this working? What's not working? Who's listening? Who's watching? Whatever. What is my audience? So they give me statistics telling me my age demographic, who's listening, what states they're from, what countries they're from, how much downloads I have, how much plays I have. And you need these statistics because if your podcast does eventually grow, you can start getting sponsors and things like that. And they need to see the proof. You can't just email somebody like, y'all, I have 5,000 listeners, 8 million listeners. And like, can you show me proof of that? And you could download the PDF form and you could send it to the people that you would like to sponsor your podcast or whatever the case may be. So now the cheap way, use your iPhone for audio. The hosting, all hosting across the board for the most part. I think Spreaker was probably one of the cheapest, but mine is $20 a month. So you have to find a host. So once you start uploading your audio, like I said, don't go crazy once you start a podcast. Use the audio you can. If you have the personality or whatever, you are knowledgeable in whatever you decide to do, whether you want to talk about gaming, whether you want to talk about knitting, whether you want to talk about I don't know what, people are going to listen. Believe you me, people will listen. You have to get a host. That's something you can't avoid. That's just what it is. Like, they have apps where it's free, where you can just upload audio, but it's the smartest thing to do. And then they upload it to every website. So with Spreaker, all I gotta do is put my link, my audio on their RSS feed, and they're gonna upload it to Apple Podcasts for me. They're gonna upload it to TuneIn, Stitcher. Everything is gonna go straight there. Once you submit your podcast to these different brands, your RSS feed link, it goes up once you put up an episode. So that's number 2. You're gonna have to find a host. Number 3. This could get expensive. Where are you gonna film? Where are you gonna record? Obviously, the cheapest thing to do is to record in your house. A lot of people try to go above and beyond and find these studios with the, like a recording studio. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it, sis. Okay. My first season, I did majority of my episodes by myself. So I did majority of it in my house. Oh my gosh. I am usually a headache. Whenever I do something, I want to do it big. But this is what you got to understand as well when you starting something. If you could do it for the low, do it for the low. Because number 1, you're not big yet. You could start something for cheap and it grows enormously. And now people are investing in you. Now somebody might pick up your podcast and they're going to pay for the studios. They're going to pay for the audio equipment. So now it's like yes, it's good to invest in yourself, but you can still invest in yourself inexpensively and still get amazing results. So it's like, imagine you spend all this money to start a podcast and then eventually it gets picked up and you just like, wow. Like, I feel like the amount of money I invested into it, it's like flipping a house, You're going to buy a house for $5,000 and then your thought is to, clean it up for maybe $10,000. So now you invested $15,000. And when you flip the house, you're selling it for $500,000. So that's how I look at, my podcast or any business that I start, is that I'm flipping it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope to flip this podcast. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's going to always be Britt Says. It's going to always be me. You know what I'm saying? But eventually it's going to be worth a lot more. I'm flipping it. I started this, invested maybe roughly, I would say right now, maybe $2,500 into it in hindsight, because eventually now, you might have to get studios. Might, depending on your personality and your living lifestyle. At the time when I started my podcast, I was living with my parents. So I didn't want guests coming to my parents' house. I didn't want my parents to see people coming in and out the house. I don't live there. That's not my house. You feel me? So I had to get studios for season 2. To have guests there and things like that. And I just didn't want them coming in like a home environment. I currently moved out. I had a lot of feedback. It was like, yeah, you definitely could bring your guests here and things like that. Whatever the case would be. So a studio on average for like 4 hours in New York City was like $200, which is a lot. You know, it's a lot of money. So depending on how often you have guests, it adds up or whatever. And also another thing with that is you gotta find free spaces. I heard there's free spaces, but you gotta like put your number in the slot and stuff. It's just a headache. So for me, I don't know. It just all depends on you. If you got people who willing to come to your house, probably start with your friends. Every episode I did with my friends, they came to my house because I know my friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not that I think people are weird, but it's just that I was living with my parents and I'm not having people come in and out my parents' house. That's just what it is. If you want guest link shows, start with your friends. And also, do episodes with just you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need guests all the time. Some people need guests. I talked about this in my vlog. So from yesterday, Britt Says presents in between seasons or whatever. I talk about this in one of my vlogs. I'll link it below about how, you know, I want to start doing a couple of podcast episodes by myself. But yes, if you do a podcast by yourself, strictly by yourself, you're going to probably save a bunch of money. Like, you're going to save, because for me, if you're doing a podcast by yourself, why are you using a studio? Tell me why you're using a studio. You're being extra. We're talking about starting a podcast for the low. If you're trying to start something for cheap, there should be no reason you're getting a studio if you're doing a podcast by yourself. And that's just my opinion. Like, it should be no reason you're doing it. Getting a studio. You being mad extra if you get in a studio and you do your podcast by yourself. Like, come on now. Knock it off. So that's one way to save money. Not having guests. Or bringing a guest to your house. It's all up depending on you. You're going to save money. Promotion and things like that, you gotta learn how to do it by yourself. You're gonna save a lot of money just by watching some YouTube videos and really just sitting down and just watching how to make a logo, how to make intro music, how to. You already starting good by watching this video, how to start a podcast inexpensive. I did everything by myself. I had wanted intro music, right? You might want intro music. I don't know what your judge is. I think intro music is fun. I knew I wanted intro music. Hit up some people for intro music. You gotta remember, music is music. That stuff has to be licensed. That stuff, people might want money from you if your podcast ever gets big every time an episode airs. So I started thinking about everything. I hit up somebody. They told me it would be $300. $300 for a beat? And I know some of y'all who probably do music and y'all watching this, so you're like, girl, that's nothing. Blah, blah, blah. For me, that's a lot of money. And I don't even own the music. I still wouldn't own it. I think I would just have like a license. Like, I wouldn't fully own it. I think it would be like, they were telling me like $3,000 to just own it altogether. Come on. So that goes back to GarageBand, right? So we have all these, you know, music things like Audacity, GarageBand. There's so many ways to create music. I started watching YouTube videos on how to make a beat on GarageBand. GarageBand comes free with your MacBook. I think Audacity is free as well. These things are free. You can make music with it for free. Now, I understand 100% that everybody does not have an ear for music. Everybody does not have an ear for certain things. And you don't want nothing wicked, on your podcast, no crazy old sound or crazy old music. For me, my intro beat, I love it. I love it. I don't know how I created it. Everything is about just sitting down and being quiet and listening and learning. And I think as you become an adult, you kind of don't want to sit down, listen, and learn. But I created my own beat on GarageBand. You cannot use the loops. Those loops have to be licensed as well. You have to create it from scratch. If you got the time and the patience, it don't take long, and it's kind of fun depending on the type of person you are. You can create your own intro music and your own beat. So I created my own intro music. I created my own logo. You don't have to use Photoshop. They have stuff like Canva.com. Canva.com is free. I knew I wanted something simplistic and sleek and chill. So I created my own logo. That's free. When you do all these things by yourself, it's free. You get what I'm saying? So one of the top ways to start a podcast inexpensively is by teaching yourself stuff. And that goes for any business. You have to teach yourself how to do stuff. If you don't have money and you want to start a podcast, you want to start a YouTube channel, whatever you want to do, you're going to have to teach yourself how to do stuff. And that's just what it is. That's the only way it's going to get done for free is if you do it. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's doable. Let me tell you something. If I did it, you could do it. I've always been a little Photoshop fanatic, so it was easy for me to create logos, but trust me, it is so easy. And like, oh my God, like with all these how-tos and stuff on the internet, you can do it. Don't doubt yourself. You can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. So I created my own logo. I created my own intro music. And my cover art. You need cover art. A lot of people pay people to do cover art. I did my own cover art. I invested in a camera because I knew I wanted to film. So also you might have to buy a camera if you want to record your podcast episodes. My camera was $800 roughly. Love my camera. But like I said, right now we in November. Black Friday is coming up. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Get you a camera on Black Friday. Wait for the holidays. I got my camera around President's Day, I think it was. No, maybe. I think I just bought my camera. I'm lying. I didn't get it around the holidays. But just keep those things in mind. So think about Black Friday. Think about after Christmas sales. Think about President's Day. What's another holiday? July 4th. Those holidays, those a lot of sales happen. So you can get you a camera around that time. If you need a laptop, get you a laptop around that time and things like that. So that's one of the top ways to start a podcast inexpensively. So now when I created my cover art, I did that on Photoshop. I had Photoshop at the time. I don't have Photoshop currently because I don't have no space on my computer. So I've been using Canva.com. It's just like Photoshop. All these things are so easy to use. I promise you, I guarantee you it's so easy to use. Because I bought a camera, I took high quality photos of myself and then I kind of like made my podcast cover art. That's what I came up with. I'll put it in here somewhere. Yeah. So one of the most inexpensive ways to really start a podcast is and if you lazy, doing it by yourself. That's where all this stem from. And using what you already have. Use the tools you already have. I already had a laptop from Life. It has recording capabilities. Use it to your advantage. We have phones. Everybody has some type of smartphone. Even flip phones, you could record voice memos on it. So what up? Use that for your audio. Use what you have. Use you to your best ability. Use your brain. Your brain is an amazing organ. Okay, people. That's the way you're gonna start stuff inexpensively. A lot of people don't talk about it. I feel like I watch a lot of these how to start a podcast, and they're telling you buy this mic and do this and do that. If you want to do something and you want to do it cheap and you want to start now, you want to start today, use what you got in your house. DIY. Use your laptop. Use your phone. And even too, if you want to record, but that's going to be kind of hard. Even too, like I said, if you want to record, you can use your iPhone to film your podcast and record it. Now you're doing double the whammy. You get what I'm saying? So don't believe the hype. You could literally record your podcast episode, then use the audio from what you recorded on your phone upload that on Adobe Premiere Pro. Oh, let me step back. Adobe Premiere Pro is $20 a month as well. A lot of people use Final Cut Pro. That's $350 flat. Once you pay for it, you own it. I decided, why did I decide on Adobe Premiere Pro? Oh, at the time, I didn't have $350 because I was actually going to use Final Cut Pro. Once again, going back to saving money. I was going to use Final Cut Pro, but at the time, I did not have $350 to shell out. So I like the idea of paying $20 a month because at the time, I had $20 and, you know, I kind of wanted to start. So that's kind of up to you. Adobe Premiere Pro, I highly recommend it. Very easy editing. Like I said, you can edit your audio. So and at the end of the day, you could save your audio. So you just save your audio as an MP3 file. And now you have your podcast episode and you can upload that. And then you have your videos. So like I said, creating your logo and cover art. Do all that stuff by yourself. You don't need no crazy old logo. Logos, first of all, you don't need a crazy logo. People don't gravitate towards craziness anyway. Think of your favorite brands. Like, look at their logos and things like that. It's very simplistic. That's why I chose my logo for Britt Says. Cover art. You could just even put a little picture of yourself and then just put the logo there. Like, don't stop believing the hype. That's the first thing I need to do. Is stop believing the hype that everything has to be this big, freaking, like, if you are captivating, if you have a great personality, if you are knowledgeable in a certain topic, people are going to listen and people are going to watch. And that's just what it is. So do everything by yourself in the beginning stages. The beginning stages are the easiest stages. So, like I said, try to use what you have and do everything on your own. Create your logo by yourself, create your cover art, make your own beats. Like, that's the way to do it inexpensively. Y'all watching all these videos on how to do it cheap. Oh, go on Fiverr, do this. No, do it yourself. You got so much time on your hands. Even if I work full time, but that at the time was all I did, right? So I'm off 2 days of the week. I only work 8 hours. So it's 24 hours in a day. I have 16 hours left? What I'm going to do with those 16 hours? I could be sitting up watching how to make a beat. I could be sitting up watching how to make a logo. I could sit up and watch how to make a cover art for my podcast. That's what I use my 16 hours to do every day after work. And then when I figured it out, I did everything by myself. So stop making it seem like, oh, I don't have time to learn how to do this and that. If you don't got nothing else on your plate, sweetie, you can teach yourself how to do something. And that's just what it is. And that's how you start a podcast inexpensively. And I will see you guys next week on a Britt Says How To. I don't know what the topic is going to be yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be captivating. I will see you guys next week.